Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be ranking the albums of metalcore classics, Converge. And we're starting with Halo in a Haystack. This album is going to good. This album, it's pretty good. The production's pretty rough in places, honestly, but I have a soft spot for tracks like Becoming a Stranger and Antheus, or yeah, Antheus as well. Both of those tracks are strong sevens. Every other track is like a decent seven. But those are the two tracks I recommend checking out from this album. Rest of it's pretty solid. It's a good album, just not a great album. But next up, though, we're getting into Petitioning the Empty Sky. This is going to great. Excellent album, especially with this opener of The Saddest Day. That opener is just so phenomenal. And honestly, the first half of this album is just perfection. Like Forsaken, Albatross, Dead, Shingles. But unfortunately, it does start to get into like 8 territory with Buried but Breathing, Pharaoh Note to the City. Calling Me Blood Red is a 9 though. And Home Song is like an 8. Still, pretty good album. A great album, honestly. I thought it was a big improvement over the debut. It's just not as good as like some of the other albums we're getting to. Like, for example, When Forever Comes Crashing. This is going to the bottom of amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is an excellent album, especially with the opener, My Unsaid Everything, The High Cost of Playing God, In Harm's Way, Conduit, The Lowest Common Denominator, Towing Jehovah. The title track is amazing. 10 Cents is a more melodic and calming track. Year of the Swine is just stupid heavy. Letter Bomb is amazing, and same with Love is Arson. This is, for any other band, this would be S tier, but for Converge, this is like an A minus. But next up, though, we're getting into the big guns. We're getting into Jane Doe. Oh, Jane Doe. This is going to perfection. Excellent opener with Concubine, amazing follow-up with Fault and Fracture, Distance and Meaning, Hell to Pay, Homewrecker, The Broken Vow, Bitter and Then Some, Heaven in Our Arms, Phoenix in Flight is a fantastic instrumental. Phoenix in Flames is just stupid heavy. I love Phoenix in Flames. It's only 43 seconds, but it rocks your world. Then you have Thaw and the legendary title track that is 11 minutes and 34 seconds, but it is worth every single second of your time. This is like an 11 out of 10 album. It's not my favorite, but this album gets a lot of love, and it deserves all the love it gets. Perfection. But next up, though, we have You Fail Me. And this is going to be a potential hot take, but I like this album even more than Jane Doe. This is going to the tippy top of perfection. Excellent instrumental opener with First Light and then Last Light. The follow-up generally sounds like their lead singer Jacob is about to fucking cry. I'm not even joking on that one. Excellent follow-up with Black Cloud, Dropout, Hope Street, Heartless. The title track is amazing. Inner Shadow is a much more melodic track with no screaming on it and much more focus on acoustic guitars. Eagles Become Vultures almost gives off a more Every Time I Die type sound, honestly. Death King is stupid heavy. Same with In Her Blood and Hanging Moon. Excellent album from beginning to end. Trust me when I say this. Like, Jane Doe is like the Crash Out album. This is the Hangover album. Like, I would honestly say these two albums almost go hand in hand. Like seriously, if you like Jane Doe, check out You Fail Me. You will get a lot out of You Fail Me. You might even like it more than Jane Doe, like I do. But if you don't, I still think this album is worth every second of your time. But next up is No Heroes. This album is. It's going to the top of amazing. Great opener with Heartache. Hellbound is a solid follow up. Same with Sacrifice and Vengeance. Weight of the World, this is like our first 9 out of 10. But however, though, we pick it right back up with the title track. Plagues actually beats out everything on When Forever Comes Crashing. Same with Trophy Scars and To the Lions. Excellent album, honestly. Once again, even Grimheart Black Rose, which honestly feels like. Sorry, I was thirsty. Which feels like they were trying to do like a Inner Shadow 2.0. It's not quite as good as Inner Shadow, gonna be real with you, but it's still a fantastic track. But the 3 tracks I recommend you check out from here are Plagues, Trophy Scars, and To the Lions. Excellent album. Just, this would be perfection for any other band, but once again, for Converge, it's like an A-. Not even joking about that one. But next up is Ats to Fall. This is going to fantastic. 10 out of 10 opener with Dark Horse, and then a 10 out of 10 follow-up with Reap What You Sow. But then we start getting into like a more like almost a more like not quite as perfect as those first 2 tracks, Little Run. With the title track, Effigy, and Worms Will Feed, Rats Will Feast. But then it picks right back up with Wishing Well, Damages, Losing Battle, Deadbeat, Cutter, Slave Driver, Cruel Bloom, Wretched World. What do you want from me, y'all? This album is like, apart from those 3 songs, the rest of this album is like on par with Jane Doe. But those 3 songs do bring it down to fantastic. But seriously, check out this whole album. This album has like some magnificent strings on it too. This is a big collaboration album. It's stupid heavy, but also really melodic in places as well. Fantastic album. I love this album. But next up is All We Love, We Leave Behind. This is going to fantastic, even above Ats to Fall. Great opener with Aimless Arrow, but unfortunately, it's not quite as strong as like the highs on Jane Doe. But Trespass is. Same with Tender Abuse, Sadness Comes Home, Empty on the Inside, Sparrow's Fall, Glacial Place, No Light Escapes, Vicious Muse, Veins and Veils, Coral Blue, Shame in the Way, On My Shield, Principle, the amazing title track, Runaway, Predatory Glow. I also want to tell you, I listened to the deluxe album, the deluxe edition of this album as well. That is 17 tracks, and every single second of it I was entertained for. Amazing album, like fantastic album. This is just like for any other band, this would be perfection. But for Converge, it's going to the top of fantastic for now. But next up, we have The Dusk in Us. This is actually my second favorite, even above Jane Doe. Like, a single tear is so hauntingly beautiful. Same with Eye of the Cruel and Under Duress. By the way, Jacob wrote this album after giving birth to his newborn son. And this album is really about family and triumphing over your struggles and just finding purpose in life. This album is like a 12 out of 10. It's on par with Jane Doe. Like this, like in my opinion, it's on par with You Feel Me. I like You Feel Me slightly more, but this is a very close second. Not even gonna lie to you. Like, in my opinion, these 3 albums kind of form a 3-part sweep. Like, Jane Doe's The Crash Out, You Feel Me is the hangover, and The Dusk of Us is the recovery. In my opinion, I almost recommend listening to Jane Doe, You Feel Me, and The Dusk of Us all back to back, so you can just get the story of Jacob's fallout of a relationship exploding in his face in Jane Doe, and then the self-hatred he still felt after that, and then the recovery when he had his newborn son on The Dusk of Us. Please, if you take nothing else from this, please check out Jane Doe, The Dusk in Us, and You Fail Me. Please check those 3 albums out. I am begging. I have to insist. I have to insist. That is how much I am begging here. I have to insist you check those 3 albums out. But next up is Blood Moon, Volume 1. This is going to the top of Fantastic. Now, granted, this is on par with All We Love, We Leave Behind, with Blood Moon being a fantastic opener, still a 10 out of 10 opener, but the rest of it's just even better. Like Visagra of Men, Coal, Flower Moon, Tongues Playing Dead, Lord of Liars, Failure Forever, Scorpion Sting, Dayman, Crimson Stone, and Blood Dawn. All these other tracks are like 11 out of 10. The main reason why I put it slightly above All We Love, We Leave Behind is just because I find this album to be slightly more interesting. Just a touch more interesting than All We Love, We Leave Behind. Both are very close, but I would say this one wins it slightly. But if you want my favorite tracks from each one, I would say Last Light from You Fail Me, A Single Tear from The Dusk in Us, I would say Homewrecker from Jane Doe, I would say Damon from Blood Moon, I would say the title track from All We Love, We Leave Behind. For Ask to Fall, I would say Dark Horse. For No Heroes, I would say Trophy Scores. For When Forever Comes Crashing, I would say this one gets hard. I would say My Unsaid Everything. My Unsaid Everything. For Petition the Empty Sky, the opener, The Saddest Day, 10 out of 10 track. And for Halo in a Haystack, I would say Becoming a Stranger. This was a really fun list to make, y'all. Like, seriously, drop your own rankings in the comments below. Tell me your favorite Converge songs in the comments. And all of you have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend, a fantastic week. I will see all of you next week. And if you don't mind, drop a like and a subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate that if you enjoy what you see here. I usually make videos once a week, but that should do it. Take care, everyone. I will see all of you next time.